Hello and welcome to my new presentation related to Bitcoin education. In this presentation, I will discuss about what does exactly understanding Bitcoin mean, because they have several, these words have many different meanings, and I want to explain what is for me a meaning, what understanding Bitcoin. So this presentation is for educational purpose only, and is not a financial advice. So to me, understanding Bitcoin means that a person reply with 10 convinced yes to the 10 questions below. First, Bitcoin, you cannot be a Bitcoiner if you don't think that Bitcoin is the best form of money that humanity has ever had. And for this, you need to learn and study the history of money, not just thinking what is money now, but the history of the last 5,000 years of money. Second, being the best form of money, Bitcoin it is on its own way to become the biggest store of value worldwide. And this is just a matter of when and not of if. The question is medium of exchange in the Western world is a question mark, but the topic related to store of value for me is clearly only a matter of when, because Bitcoin is the best form of money. Third, Bitcoiners generally are all very passionate about Bitcoin because one of the reasons is because they see as a purpose, because adopting Bitcoin as a store of value and even better as money in the future will allow the society to lower the time preference. Lowering the time preference of each individual will mean more long-term thinking, like saving for the future, becoming more long-term thinking in the history of humanity also meant flourishing of society. And the concept of time preference is very well explained in the book, The Bitcoin Standard. Now, first three questions were related to the economical part. Now let's go to the technological part, because Bitcoiners believe also that with Bitcoin now we have the possibility of sending money value digitally and without a third party. And this is a breakthrough in the technological history. There was a problem so far till Bitcoin, we didn't have the chance to send money digitally without a third party. We could send value or money or physically with coins or cash or digitally with a third party. There was a problem and Bitcoin solved. And also we believe, Bitcoiners believe that um, this invention that allows to send money digitally without a third party is comparable with the invention of the printing press, the steam engine, the car, the electricity, and the internet. It just is taking time to the world to understand that is the same importance. As it happens with the press, the steam engine, the car, electricity, it took years for the world to understand it, while only a small elite group of people understood the potential before. People who spend a lot of hours and a lot of time in trying to understand the new technology. Sixth, and now we go to Bitcoin mining. That is also a very important topic. Is Bitcoin mining doing good for the society by creating more jobs and by adding more energy to the total energy produced? This should also be a yes, because Bitcoin mining first is creating job, but secondly is mostly using energy that otherwise it would not be channeled. So when a person is saying yes, the Bitcoin mining is using more energy than Norway, maybe it's true technically because the energy is used, but it's misleading because the energy that Bitcoin miners used it cannot be the same energy that is used for residential, for industrial, or for healthy, like for hospitals, because it costs too much. Bitcoin miners are always looking for cheap energy, so they are adding energy in the total energy used by humanity. And every time we did a leap forward as in the society during human history, we always add energy as the total energy always increase. And there is a direct correlation between the GDP and per capita and the total energy used by a country. And this is another very important point. Seventh, is Bitcoin mining a resource for the energy companies because for the first time in history they can balance the grid? This is also a very should be a very convincing yes. For the first, because of the nature of Bitcoin mining, that can Bitcoin mining is a uncorrelated competition of 10 minutes each. Every 10 minutes there is a competition. That's why Bitcoin mining is location location agnostic. They can work wherever they 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 want, and they don't need transportation. But secondly, they can work also is time agnostic. They can work 1 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, 8 hours, independently which hours. That's why they can stabilize the grid of the energy company because being an energy company, there is always a fluctuation, sometimes of supply for in a renewable energy like solar and wind, and mostly of demand. The population doesn't need the same energy all the time, every hour of the day and every day of the year. And with Bitcoin mining, the supply can be the demand can be balanced because the supply can be balanced thanks to Bitcoin mining. And is the only technology that allows to balance the grid. Eighth, is Bitcoin mining helping in fighting climate change? Also, this is yes. Why is yes? Because by using combusting methane that otherwise will be vented in the atmosphere and or flared into the atmosphere, Bitcoin mining is actually reducing the CO2. There is also a projection that if the methane that is combusted from methane that otherwise will be vented or will be flared is continuing with the same trend month by month as the same trend from May 2021, the whole Bitcoin mining industry will become net zero carbon by December 2024. And from 2025, the whole Bitcoin mining energy industry can become carbon negative. So it's adding more energy and in the same way is reducing the CO2, something unique in the history of energy industry. Last two, do you have the constant feeling of not owning enough Bitcoin? And this also could be a yes, because even if a person is quite exposed, Bitcoiners are quite exposed on Bitcoin as their investment, or mostly, as I say, as savings, there is always the constant feeling of not to own enough Bitcoin. And 10, for me, the most important is the strategy for investing and saving. Will you hold your Bitcoin investment regardless the volatility in the short, medium term? And this also should be a yes, because if a person really understood Bitcoin, knows that the only chart that matter is the 4-year moving average. It will mean the average price of the last 4 years. And this chart always went up day after day since 13 years because Bitcoin is a long-term savings plan or long-term investment. It's not, I mean, people can use us to trade, but then there is a risk and they accept to take the risk, fine. But otherwise, Bitcoin is the best investment or savings plan in the long term. That's all. So for me, what does when I say about people need a lot of hours to understand Bitcoin, it needs people need to study many hours in order to be able to reply with a convinced yes to the 10 questions we just discussed. Many thanks for the attention and see you in one of the next video.